So before we go into this video, I do want to give you guys a heads up. I have finally opened my own Discord server for the channel. If you do want to interact with me and other people in the community, you should definitely go head over there. We talk, we drop a lot of memes, we talk about Boruto. If you want to join the server, link is in the description. I'll also put it in the pinned comment. So before we go into this video, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell for noties, and yeah, enjoy the video. Okay, let me just get the elephant out of the room. Naruto used Sage Mode. I'm really happy that he used Sage Mode because I had a lot of problems with the last Boruto chapter on why Naruto didn't use Sage Mode, and I'm so happy that he did use it, and I just want to say that I've never been more happy to be proven wrong. Of course, last Boruto chapter, the sensory system could not find either Boruto or Kawaki since they had left the village to fight Code, and of course with that, the sensory system could not find them, and Naruto was wondering why, and I was questioning why didn't he use Sage Mode? Why couldn't he instantaneously just pop out Sage Mode and try to sense either Boruto or Kawaki? But after reading Boruto chapter 64, I'm happy that they showed that Naruto can use Sage Mode. However, at the same time, he does have to build up nature energy. Earlier in the Boruto series in the New Way and Naruto Gaiden arc, Naruto had the capabilities of just instantaneously turning on Sage Mode. This is because he had the likes of Kurama to help him out build up nature energy in order to get into the Sage Mode transformation. Now that he doesn't have Kurama, it will take him some time in order to gather up nature energy to use the Sage Mode transformation. So I'm glad that they did show that because it would have been a humongous plot hole if he didn't use Sage Mode. We know that he can use Sage Mode and it doesn't require Kurama's chakra at all, so I'm glad that they did use it. And through Naruto's Sage Mode, it was also said that Boruto and Kawaki, when they were fighting Code, they were about 40 kilometers away from the Leaf Village, which is actually pretty far. In fact, it's out of Hinata's range of her Byakugan sight. I also did say last chapter, why didn't they have Hinata use her Byakugan in order to see that Boruto and Kawaki are nearby? But they are 40 kilometers out of the Leaf Village, so that means they are out of her range of her Byakugan radius. So that does make sense. I'm glad that they did show that. I'm happy that I'm wrong, and we can move on with this chapter, which I gotta say, Boruto chapter 64 was great. I love this chapter, man. It's been a while since I just read a chapter spoiler free. I didn't read any of the Boruto chapter spoilers. The only thing that I was spoiled on was the last page, which I'll get into, which was crazy by the way. But I do want to say, for this fight between Boruto versus Code, it was very good, man. Usually with Ikimoto, I do have my criticisms for his choreography. Many times in the Boruto manga, he is very consistent with the usual punch, kick, Rasengan, speedline spam, and obviously there was a lot of speedline spam, like a lot, but besides that, I really did like the choreography between Boruto versus Code, especially with Code, man, because obviously the way he fights, it's very unique, man. And with Boruto accessing this new Karma Otsutsuki transformation, this isn't his typical Borushiki form where Momoshiki is controlling his body, but Boruto is actually having control over his body this time. Even Kawaki didn't notice this. He thought Momoshiki was in control, but in fact it was Boruto. And Boruto, with this new power up, he has gotten a humongous power boost. Basically, he's in his strongest form that he's ever been. This form might be stronger than Borushiki. We don't know yet. We have to see more of him fighting, but I do want to say that this form was pretty cool with the choreography shown from Ikimoto, which I gotta say is definitely praiseworthy, because obviously there's a lot of panels that I actually really did like. For example, Code literally going inside of some of Boruto's shadow clones using his band ability, and then putting his arm through one of Boruto's shadow clones and then swinging to take out the other shadow clones. I just want to say that I loved that sequence right there. It was so fire. The way that Code was controlling his arm through Boruto's shadow clone to take out the other shadow clones on top, that was fucking fire, dude. I love that moment right there. That is so creative from Ikimoto. I just love that ability that Code is using, man. It's very creative. And on top of that, Boruto's getting hits off, man. Like, Boruto isn't even in this form with his shadow clones, which despite him using shadow clone jutsu, it just shows him in his base form with no karma, which is kind of odd. But besides that, he's able to put up some resistance against Code. Obviously, Code is basically holding back because he's not trying to kill Boruto. His goal is to feed Boruto to the Ten Tails in order to harvest a chakra fruit to become this perfect Otsutsuki god. He's basically trying to subdue Boruto, but Boruto's definitely putting up a fight, which I gotta say is pretty cool. And I do want to say that even Ida doesn't really understand what's going on, despite her being the all-knowing. She kind of concludes that it has to do with the meds that were given to Boruto. Obviously, Amato gave Boruto these Byakugan depressant pills, which obviously is supposed to counter the Otsutsukification that is extracting on Boruto's body. However, this isn't really affecting Boruto as of yet at this point in the chapter, but all she knows is that Boruto can tap into Momoshiki's power without Momoshiki taking control over Boruto's body. And obviously, as mentioned before, Naruto is using Sage Mode, he's building up that nature energy, and he does say that his Sage Mode is a lot stronger than before. And obviously we see Naruto accessing Sage Mode, and Shikamaru said, yo, can you not use it for that long? But Naruto actually says that he can use his Sage Mode for a lot longer time, which does make sense considering that Naruto's base, his stats are amped in the Boruto era. He is a lot stronger compared to his Shippuden version. Obviously he lost Kurama and the Nine Tails chakra, but at the same time his base, when you compare his base at the end of Shippuden compared to Boruto, his stats, his feats, and what he's capable of doing, it's a lot stronger. His chakra reserves, his experience, all that stuff is added on to him as Hokage. So of course with him using Sage Mode, he can use it for a lot longer time. If you don't know already, back in the Pain arc when he first learned how to use Sage Mode, he could only use it for about 5 minutes before the Sage Mode transformation will dispel, and he would have to use another Shadow Clone in order to use it again. But now as Naruto is becoming stronger, his Sage Mode is much more efficient and he can use it for a lot longer time. No, he isn't Pain arc level. I know some people think like Naruto without the Nine Tails is extremely weak, but he is still very, very powerful. I do want to say that right now because I know some people are going to be downplaying Naruto without the Nine Tails, but Naruto's overall strength and stats as Hokage in base is way stronger than he once was as a teen. And obviously alongside Naruto, Shikamaru's head in there, which I do want to say that's huge because we're finally going to get another character to help out Naruto. Naruto so far in Boruto, every time he fights someone, it's by himself or with the likes of Sasuke. So we're going to see Naruto try to help out Boruto and Kawaki to fight Code, and Shikamaru is going to come along, which I know some people are saying Shikamaru is going to die, but let's just wait and see. I'm not going to jump to that conclusion right away. With Boruto fighting Code, he does provide a lot of resistance. Code is obviously holding back. He isn't really going at his full power. It's kind of implied that he's just trying to test Boruto's power. Boruto does try to absorb Code's banned abilities, but Kawaki does say that it is a physical property. It is physical matter, meaning that Boruto cannot absorb Code's banned abilities via his Karma Seal. This is the one weakness that the Karma Seal has. You can't actually absorb physical matter. This was stated multiple times, especially in the Boro fight where Kawaki, he tried to absorb Boro's viruses, but he just couldn't. If you have physical matter in your jutsu, you won't be able to absorb it, and this is a big weakness that could expose the Karma Seal, especially if you rely on absorption techniques, which explains why Code is so powerful. The fact that he has an ability like this, if you were to fight someone like Jigen, obviously with his limiters on, he would lose, but at the same time, he can fight these very powerful characters. And I do want to say the fact that he's moving around in these bands, if you're not careful, he can just strike you right away, and he can also just take you right out of the blue, which he actually tries to do. After exchanging blows with Boruto, Code does try to leave, but at the same time, he tries to take Kawaki with him, and this is where Kawaki does a Shadow Clone Jutsu, and Boruto tries to attack with a Rasengan, and Code isn't able to take away Kawaki to take him to Ida, so he does retreat to his original position, and he's getting pissed at this point. The two of them aren't complying to his plans. He even says, yo Kawaki, you're willing to come with me, why aren't you letting me take you? Of course Kawaki, like a broken record, I'm willing to do anything for Lord 7th, which is, like I said, his obsession is crazy. I think people kind of overlook it. It's kind of like how Code's obsession is with Ishiki. He praises him as a god, whereas Kawaki looks at Naruto as the first person to ever give him a chance in life. So of course he's gonna do whatever it takes to protect Naruto. In fact, he's been saying this for the past like 10 to 11 chapters, to be honest with you, man. He's been saying this a lot. I do want to say that it's getting repetitive as hell. Give him some more dialogue, man. I understand that he loves Naruto, and I understand they're emphasizing on this point, but I do understand what's going on with Kawaki's dialogue, and it does align within his character. And then this is where Boruto begins to fight Code again. He's starting to throw harder punches and kicks. He's getting some more hits off. Code is actually feeling some sort of resistance. I do want to say there was this very nice sequence where Code does kick Boruto, and as he's falling away, he like flings a Rasengan toward Code, which I gotta say, that was fire. It was a vanishing Rasengan, which Code doesn't obviously see, and even though it doesn't hit him, he is caught off guard. I do want to say I did like that choreography right there. It was a very nice sequence from Ikamoto right there. After that sequence, Boruto then begins to literally have a heart attack. Obviously this has to do with the pills that Amado gave him, the Byakugan suppressant pills, and with Boruto accessing Momoshiki's powers, he has the Byakugan, so that's kind of counterintuitive, and that's going to legit hurt him to the point where he might die. Amado did say the consequences of using these pills, you can either go blind or you might even die. This leaves us to a very big cliffhanger, which I do want to say this chapter was great. I love this chapter. It was a very good chapter. It's been a while since I sat down and just read a Boruto chapter and was like, damn, this shit is heat. Because I'm not gonna lie, with the last like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 chapters, it's been slow build up, which I do want to say there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that's perfectly fine, but now this build up is starting to pay off, and now we're gonna get the payoff. Now we're gonna get some very crazy moments in the next couple of Boruto chapters. Now that Naruto and Shikamaru are heading to where Boruto and Kawaki are, they're gonna help fight out Code. And let me know what are your thoughts on this chapter. Boruto Boruto chapter 64, I thought it was very good. Before Boruto has the heart attack, he even says, yo, let me get serious now, it's time to go all out. That kind of implies that he has more tools in his bag that he could have used against Code, and he might still use it despite him having this heart attack, but we don't really know at this point. So let me know what you think about this Boruto chapter in the comment section below. How did you like this Boruto chapter? What would you rate it out of 10? I don't do ratings anymore, but all I'm gonna say that it was a very good chapter. What are your predictions for Boruto chapter 65? Let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.